Yo, what's up, family? Before we start the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and share to any and everyone that you can. Just zoom out there a little bit more. With that being said, let's get right into the video. All right, how y'all doing? I hope y'all doing good. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, make sure you take your shoes off before you come out. And the Boston Celtics came out with a thrilling win in game 2, 108-100. But of course, this is about the defense. Again, 100 points, holding the team to 100 points in the playoffs. You definitely should win that game. And the Boston Celtics played much better defense than they did in game 2, even though they gave up 111 in the game 2 loss. The Celtics were much more crisp on the ball, off the ball, and stuff like that. And a big part of that is VJ Edgecombe, of course, is a guy that killed us in game 2. He had about 30 points, really impressive rookie. But he shot 5 for 17 in this game, only had 10 points. And a big part of that, especially at the beginning of this game, was Jason Tatum. They put Jason Tatum on VJ Edgecombe and basically neutralized him, and he didn't get a rhythm. And Tatum just plays great ISO defense here with the contest. All right, so especially early on in this game, Tatum found himself in much more on-ball P&R reps. We know Tatum in game 1 did a phenomenal job in isolation defense on guys like Maxey and Kelly Oubre and VJ Edgecombe on switches, but the Celtics put him in situations where he would be the on-ball defender in these pick-and-roll actions that have been deadly for the 76ers, and it definitely helped us. And I wanted to see more of it. Obviously, you don't want Tatum like chasing around Tyrese Maxey for the entire game, but it was really good in the first quarter. Now, something from the regular season matchups that I thought we would be taking more into this series. We did it a lot in the first quarter. We didn't do it too much for the rest of this game, but ice and screen. So Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, even Paul George, those guys have been really efficient in the pick and roll. A tactic you can use on defense to make guys not use the screen is ice. And so when somebody ices the screen, it's when they shade their body to the screen and they force the handler to reject the screen. So Tatum's going to do that right there and force Tyrese Maxey to go away from the screen. He snatches back, but again, as a dim Bona tries to rescreen, Tatum's going to jump out this way to Bona, so Tyrese Maxey has to again reject, and then it just allows this guy to stay attached a lot more. And of course, that drop coverage is a thing. But when they reject the screen and the drop coverage, Tatum's still there. He's not getting hit by the screen, so he's attached more. And Tyrese Maxey has to try to bump, put him in jail. But then a great contest there by Nemi on the floater. All right, so you're going to see Jason Tatum do the same thing. He's going to shade his body to a dim bonus so VJ can't use the screen to get to the middle of the floor. There was a lot of icing, especially in the first quarter, but there was a lot of, like, especially when Walsh was guarding Tyrese Maxey, there was a lot of shade into Maxey's left hand. Now, that could be a couple of things. That can just be them not wanting Maxey to get to the middle of the floor. That could be them wanting Maxey to drive to the big in the drop coverage, or that could be them just wanting Tyrese Maxey to drive to his left hand opposed to his right, which is his strong hand. Of course, I don't really know which one to pinpoint, but especially on this play, this is the icing. But good job by Adembona flipping the angle of this screen, basically turning this into a step-up screen. A step-up screen is a screen angle toward the opposite baseline. So there was a lot of this in this game as the Celtics were icing, but Tatum, again, that length, getting through the screen right there and still having the ability to contest that shot. All right, so we have the screen by Dembona, and there was a lot of wrinkles in this game defensively, especially from the PNR defense. We saw last time that Katie was in drop. The on-ball defender was icing the screen. But here we got Derek White right here. He's going to let Tyrese Maxey use the screen, but this is because Nikola Vucevic is really high. He's above the three-point line. He's just below the level of the screen, and he knows that he can go under because, one, they're very far out. Tyrese Maxey can hit this shot, but this is a shot if he hits it, like, fine, cool. This isn't just like him shooting a three from right here, one of those pull-up threes that he killed us with in game 2. But with Vucevic being so high, Derek White's able to go under and knows that he will have time to recover. Pass could have gone to Bona right there, but it didn't. So now we get it to VJ. They get it to Paul George. I think they're going to get, not Paul George, to Kelly Oubre. They're going to get it back to Tyrese Maxey. And then they're going to get this switch, and then great isolation defense by Sam Hauser, home strong. After the snatch back, he jumps, forces Tyrese Maxey not to shoot. We get a contest and a rebound. All right, so here Dembona is telling Paul George to get up to the top of the key or close to the top of the key so they can have better space on the pick and roll. But Paul George just end up going. And Nikola Vucevic just leaves a Dembona, trusting that somebody on the backside will get him. But again, they're right here in the corner. They're much more worried about Paul George than a Dembona. Dembona is an athletic freak, but if he's not dunking the ball, I'm not really worried about him as a finisher. But Tatum comes over at the right time, and there was a lot of this in this game from the Celtics. It was the guy in the paint, right, trying to contest or forcing the guy to change the angle of their shot, or just having to hang up in the air longer so somebody else can come block the shot. So Tatum right there stops a Dembona, makes him hesitate for a second, and then Vucevic was able to block the shot. Vucevic, who had 3 blocks in this game, was probably his best rim protecting game as a Celtic, and the Celtics contest right there. All right, here we got good defense by Jordan Walsh, and I think Jordan Walsh is damn near imperative in the series, especially against Tyrese Maxey. And I think when the on-ball defense gets a little wonky like it did in Game 2, where we're not able to stay attached on the screen, so the rear view contests aren't there, and Maxey's just getting free pull-ups, VJ's getting free pull-ups, I think you need to play guys with athleticism and length. And we have seen Jordan Walsh give Tyrese Maxey problems, and Tyrese Maxey, even in the regular season matches, was very cognizant of Jordan Walsh's length. So here's some more of that shading, right? But this isn't icing because Jordan Walsh knows that the screen is not coming to this side. If he was icing, that would mean the screen would be here and he's trying to force Maxey this way. I think this is either them forcing Maxey to his left hand or just not wanting him to be in the center of the floor. So he shades this way to let Tyrese Maxey go this way. We see another step-up screen here by Andre Drummond. Tyrese Maxey goes over there, but a great screen navigation right there by Jordan Walsh staying attached to Tyrese Maxey. 76ers go to get action. They re-screen right there. But again, Tyrese Maxey is cognizant of Jordan Walsh's length because even if he has some space right here to pull up or shoot this floater, he's looking back and trying to find the body of Jordan Walsh right there. He passes out to PG and we get a good contest. All right, so I talked about the Celtics throwing a couple wrinkles in their pick and roll defense. They did a couple different things in this game, but my favorite one and something that I thought they should have went to much more in crunch time was the pre-switching of the pick and roll. So you have a guy like Nikola Vucevic, especially in crunch time where the 76ers were able to get dunk after dunk for Andre Drummond and stuff like that. I thought he was playing good initial defense, but when the 76ers were able to re-screen and do all that, it's just tough to ask a guy like Nikola Vucevic to show up above the three-point line and then recover back. So that's just a lot. But what they did on this play, right? So they see that the 76ers are going to run some ram action. Ram action is an off-ball screen for somebody to go set a ball screen. So Quentin Grimes, he's going to set this off-ball screen on Nikola Vucevic, so Andre Drummond can come out and set this on-ball screen for Tyrese Maxey. But what the Celtics do here, right? Instead of having Nikola Vucevic have to run all the way up there after being screened, Peyton Pritchard is just going to switch right there. He's going to switch the pick and roll, and he's going to get on Andre Drummond, and Jordan Walsh is going to switch. So now they have the bigger body on Drummond. Now they mess up off the ball right here, but they're in perfect position right here. But Vucevic wants Tatum to be on the wing so he can be in the corner closer to the rim. They just get a little mix up right here as Tatum stuns it, but they give up an over three. But I do like the pre-switching, and you saw what that did. It didn't give the 76ers a favorable matchup in that PNR, and Tyrese Maxey just ends up giving the ball up. And again, just great defense here by Jordan Walsh. Well, it's kind of dark. All right, great defense here by Jordan Walsh. And one thing you absolutely have to do is just find a way, try your best to stay attached in these pick and rolls, man. I think Jordan Walsh, with his freakishly long arms, his 6'7" frame, he has a larger margin for error than a lot of our PNR defenders just because of his length, right? So he does a nice job navigating this screen here, getting low, but he does get clipped. But again, good job by Nikola Vucevic right here, allowing Jordan Walsh time to get back, and now he's back. Now they try to get into get action again. Jordan Walsh can't get over, so he goes under right there, but then he's able to stay attached. Look at those long arms right there. He's able to stay attached right there on Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey trying to get him in jail, but then he's able to get back in front, but it's because even when he's behind Maxey, he's on the side of Maxey. Look what he's doing with his arms. He's crowding the shot pocket of Tyrese Maxey as he's getting back in front. So he gets back in front and Tyrese Maxey slips on Andre Drummond, but he had no chance on that play. All right, so for some reason in this series, Paul George thinks he's a pacer, and he's been scoring really efficiently in isolation situations. And what the 76ers like to do is get him isolated in the mid-range or the mid-post area. And they love to run these little chin actions for him where the ball goes to the wing. And it's going to be a high post back screen for this guy to cut opposite to the opposite block or to the opposite side. But look at how much rubbish Paul George has to go through. And that ultimately ends up leading the Celtics to blowing up this action. So we see Jason Tatum. We got the back screen there by Quentin Grimes, but Tatum is attached, right? And then Peyton Pritchard, who's on Quentin Grimes, is also going to try to touch Paul George a little bit. And then Luka Garza right there playing off of Andre Drummond is going to make it tough for Paul George to get there. This action gets blown up, and they end up turning the ball over. All right, sorry I got to show this JB, but it is to show your hustle, man. He does turn the ball over right here, but JB made so many hustle plays. He had 3 blocks in this game right here, 1 chase down on Paul George. All right, here we got angle pick and roll by the 76ers, empty corner angle pick and roll, and Paul George gets a switch of Baylor Shaman, and Baylor just plays such good impressive isolation defense. They're not going for any of the jabs, any of the inverted jabs. But a theme in this game was on some of the Celtics' best defensive possessions, they just could not get the rebound. Now, it's tough to rebound air ball, so I'll give them this one. But this happened like 4 or 5 times on their best defensive efforts. All right, so earlier I talked about how there were a couple of examples of the Boston Celtics, like somebody contesting the paint, doing a great job of forcing the guy to hang in the air a little bit longer, to fade away or change the angle of their shot, so somebody who was chasing behind could come back and get the block. So here the 76ers go to 77 action. 77 is just 2 on-ball screens, one there by Oubre and one here by Andre Drummond. But Sam Hauser's going to do a good thing here. He's Kelly Oubre's man. He's going to jump out on Tyrese Maxey so he can't go all the way to Nikola Vucevic. So that does leave him an open path to speed down. But again, Nikola Vucevic, especially in the first half, had his best rim protection game as a Boston Celtics, right? So he's going to do as Tyrese Maxey is driving. He's going to put his hands up, force Tyrese Maxey to put his shoulder into him. And then that also means that Tyrese Maxey is fading away, which of course helps Derek White get back for the block. All right, so very same possession. They took the ball out and Derek White trying to deny Tyrese Maxey the ball, but he ends up curling Andre Drummond and he gets the lane. But again, Nikola Vucevic is going to do a great job putting his hands up straight in the air, forcing this pump fake by Tyrese Maxey. That's all the time Derek White needs to come and get another block. But again, they don't get the rebound. All right, so again, going to see the shading by Derek White. He's even like shading Tyrese Maxey this way to Nikola Vucevic before Andre Drummond even comes over here. So he's fine getting hit by the step-up screen by Drummond, but he does a nice job stepping over the screen, right? And as Tyrese Maxey tries to go back to the screen, he's going to jump over there and force him to reject the screen again. Then he's going to do a good job getting back. Good help there by Sam Hauser, forcing Tyrese Maxey to step back a little bit. And we just play impeccable defense, and they end up turning the ball over. All right, listen, man, I wasn't lying when I was telling y'all, man. Nikola Vucevic in the paint, man, blocks another shot, but again. All right, so 76ers got the Celtics on this blob play. Blob is just an acronym for baseline out of bounds. Tyrese Maxey taking the ball out on the baseline. They got the Celtics with this play where this rip screen was set for Kelly Oubre, and he just curled right to the rim and got a 2-hand dunk. After that point, the Celtics locked up all their blob actions. So you see Paul George trying to set that screen for Kelly Oubre, but look how Sam Hauser staying attached, not allowing himself to be screened. Paul George goes out, Jaylen Brown's right there. But they're going to have to get it into a Dembona because their first 2 options were done. And again, good rim protection by Nikola Vucevic. All right, so here we got Walsh on Maxey getting at the top of the key. And this is why I was like, I don't really know if they were actually like shading or just trying to get Maxey going to his left hand, because right here the screen is coming, right? And I thought this would be a perfect opportunity for Jordan Walsh to like shade Tyrese Maxey and put his body over here and make Tyrese Maxey go this way. But I'm not sure. But Tyrese Maxey ends up going to the middle floor, right? But a great effort by JB being right here to stop the path of the Tyrese Maxey drive, but then being able to get back and block the 3. But now we're back to shading Tyrese Maxey to his left hand and trying to get him away from the middle of the floor. And the screen comes by Andre Drummond. Maxey still tries to reject it, going to his right hand. And then again, he has some space, but again, he knows that Jordan Walsh is lurking, trying to chase him down right there. So he ends up just passing to VJ Edgecombe. And we have good defense by Payne Pritchard. We're going to have a pill switch right here between him and Jaylen Brown. As VJ Edgecombe goes to Jaylen Brown, he's just going to pick up VJ Edgecombe right there. And then Payne Pritchard is going to go to his man in the corner. VJ ends up falling down, and we force a really contested shot, but again. All right, it's just really good off-ball defense here by Jaylen Brown. So the 76ers try to run stagger action for Paul George. Stagger is named after a type of screen. Stagger screens are 2 of the same off-ball screens with a little bit of space in between them. So you see that right there. Paul George is going to aim to come off both of these screens. But Jaylen Brown, you see him staying attached right here, making it tough for Paul George to get to him, and he just ends up making him turn into a screener. So then Jaylen Brown comes off, he switches to Tyrese Maxey, and Jordan Walsh gets a good contest on PG. And again, we got more of the biggest contestant will allowing somebody to get a chase down block. All right, so we got the blob action again, and this actually was defended horribly. 2 guys go to Quinn Grimes, and nobody switches, but Jaylen Brown's there to save the day again. All right, so we have a great play by Derek White. I know he's a topic of discussion, and probably not for the best reasons, but he still impacts winning, and he does make a winning play on this play. So here we got Payne Pritchard shooting the 3. We had 2 on Jason Tatum, and Quinn Grimes tries to close out right. So as Payne Pritchard misses this 3, Quinn Grimes right now is the only person on the court that's not in this frame. He is gone right now after that contest. So as VJ gets a rebound, as he's jumping up for the rebound, he's looking to see who's down the court, and he sees that Quinn Grimes is absolutely gone. He's uncovered, right? But watch Derek White gets into the passing lane of VJ Edgecombe, clouds his vision so that he can't pass it, and he travels. All right, so there's a point in this game about 2 possessions before this where I tweeted and I was like, man, I see where this game is going. We haven't called a lot of plays that garner a lot of player and ball movement, and when we do call those plays, the players aren't executing. And I was like, man, it's about time. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they have to take us home. And the moment I tweeted that, Jaylen Brown had an impeccable run. So this run consisted of this play right here where he got the steal and played incredible off-ball defense again. Then he came down, hit a mid-range, and he came down, got to the free throw line. Here he's going to defend Paul George off the ball again, right? They're going to have Paul George come off these Iverson screens. And it's great that the Philadelphia 76ers are still running these Iverson screen actions, of course, with Allen Iverson in attendance. But an Iverson cut is when somebody cuts from one wing to the other wing with these 2 screens right here across the free throw line. So they're like vertical stagger screens, right? They're usually at the free throw line. They can be like right here, but they are usually just across the free throw line right here. They can be free throw line extended too, but again, it's for somebody that's on one wing to use these 2 screens right here to go to the other wing. But just look how perfectly Jaylen Brown plays this. He's over the first one, gets in between the second one so he can stay attached to Paul George and push that catch point out all the way to above the hash mark. But then he's going to shoot that gap right there, get the steal. He's going to get the assist to Derek White. And last but not least, just great team defense here by the Celtics, forcing Tyrese Maxey to get close to the corner right there where they can have 2 guys allocated to him. Ball goes in the drum, and Vucevic plays solid defense, and we play after that. Whether it is a video, if you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, and share to any and everyone that you can. Just me out there a little bit more. Now, we'll see you guys next video. This is Nick. Peace.